It doesn't matter whether you've been cycling for a matter of weeks or since the year dot. I can guarantee you that there isn't a cyclist alive that doesn't want to be able to ride further or faster than they can right now. The good news is that anybody, regardless of where you are on that scale, can improve. And all you need to do it is concentrate on 3 areas that I've given the rather pithy titles of lungs, legs and mind. Now, as you can imagine, all 3 of those areas are pretty important if you want to improve your cycling. But what I would suggest here is, if you do want to improve, that you focus on each area in that exact order. So first up, we have the lungs. Now basically this is just another term for improving your aerobic fitness or your cardiovascular fitness. Essentially, it's how effective and how fit your heart and lungs work. Now, your aerobic fitness is pretty important because it's the way that your heart and lungs deliver the oxygen that your muscles need to do the work of cycling. Basically, the oxygen is carried in the blood and it's used to liberate all of the energy from the carbohydrates that you consume. Typically, you're exercising aerobically if you are between 60 and 80% of your maximum heart rate. And this is also precisely the area that you want to work on if you want to improve your endurance. So basically, the further you can cycle, plus if you want to do a little bit of fat burning and just generally improve your overall fitness. To be able to do this on the bike is actually pretty simple and straightforward. All you need to do is ride in slightly lower gears at a slightly higher cadence. But obviously you need to have a fairly clear idea of what your normal cadence is. Now, to do this, what you have to do is ride on a fairly flat piece of road in a reasonably light gear, and then you count your pedal revolutions. Nowadays, most cycling computers have a cadence function built in, so it's all very clear and straightforward. Another very useful function that pretty much every cycling computer has is the percentage of your maximum heart rate. So once you've got that set, the magic numbers that you're looking for is between 60 and 80% of your maximum. And if you exercise within those 2 heart rates, you are within the aerobic zone. To actually improve your aerobic fitness, you will need to exercise within this magic 60 to 80% of your maximum heart rate for about 45 minutes to an hour, about 3 or 4 times a week. Once you start exercising beyond 80% of your maximum heart rate, you start edging into the anaerobic zone. Now, you won't be able to exercise for quite the same amount of time here as you would have done in the aerobic zone, and that's because instead of using oxygen as fuel, you'll be using the energy stored in your muscles, and it's on a very, very limited supply. But there are some benefits to be had here, namely that you will be increasing your overall speed, plus you will be building up your tolerance to lactic acid. And that's the byproduct that your muscles make when they have been exercising quite hard. And you feel that as a kind of burning sensation in your legs. Next on the list are your legs. Now, obviously your legs are the things that turn the pedals around, and the stronger your legs, the better you're going to be able to pedal. Now, usually you want strong legs when you're climbing, because obviously you're fighting gravity, and the steeper the hill, the stronger your legs need to be to fight that gravity. Having stronger legs is also quite useful because once you've built up your cardiovascular or your aerobic fitness, you'll be able to turn your legs just that little bit faster. And if you've got strong legs as well, you can use higher gears. And using higher gears at higher revs equates to faster cycling. The way to actually improve your leg strength is kind of the opposite thing that you were doing to improve your aerobic capacity for your lungs. Basically, what you want to do is ride in slightly higher gears at slightly lower revs. That way it's a little bit like weight training, and like weight training you're putting extra pressure on your muscles so that hopefully they will recover and become slightly stronger for the next round of exercise. Number 3 on the list is obviously the mind. Now, the mind is probably one of the hardest things to overcome, because you can have excellent cardiovascular fitness and excellent leg strength, but if you've not got it in your mind, neither of those things will count for very much. Basically, your mind is there to protect you, and as soon as things start to hurt or get a bit difficult, your mind is telling you to stop. And what you need to do is kind of override that. If you can, then you can access all of the fitness gains that you've built up in your aerobic capacity, all of the fitness gains that you've built up in your leg strength, and you will ride further and faster. One of the sneaky ways your mind tries to protect you is by telling you that it's too hard and you just can't do it. You just have to ignore it and believe that anything is possible. And one of the things that you can use to help you in this is if you've done something similar before. If you can think about that and how you got through that, no matter how hard it was, you can use that for this time. And then all you need to do is just have that little bit of extra effort to get you beyond that barrier that your mind is trying to impose on you. After that, it just becomes a series of barriers that you need to continually break. The thing to remember here is that when your mind is telling you to stop, you're much stronger than you think, and you're probably nowhere near your physical limits. The first time you push through that mental barrier is not going to be easy, but the more you do it, the easier it will become. Now, there is an obvious fourth area to focus on, and that is diet. Basically, if you can eat healthily, you will lose weight and you will improve your power to weight ratio. And that will translate into you being able to ride further and faster, particularly up the climbs. But I've always maintained that this channel is not about losing weight. It's for people like me that enjoy their cycling, but also enjoy the odd treat from time to time. So if you're looking to lose weight, then I would respectfully suggest that you perhaps look at one of the other many channels that deal with that subject in far more detail than I ever could. But in the meantime, if you do want to improve your cycling ability, we can start by improving our lungs, our legs and our mind.